Hello, friends of St. Peter. I hope you are all doing well. It's nice to take some time during the week for some reflection, and we have been talking about the fruit of the Spirit during our midweek videos. You can catch up with previous weeks if you want to. You can find the videos on the church website or the church Facebook page if you haven't seen those. We are taking some time to talk about the fruit of the Spirit. It comes from Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 25. Now, the important thing to understand when we talk about the fruit of the Spirit is that it's all about grace. When we talk about the fruit of the Spirit, it is all about realizing that as loved children of God, we have been given the gift of grace, which means we have already been given the gift of the fruit of the Spirit. And the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We already have these gifts, and we can nurture them so that we can use them to share God's love with others, to be the church in our world. Today, we'll talk about gentleness and self-control, wrap up the fruit of the Spirit. If you look at different translations of Galatians 5, gentleness can have different names. Sometimes we'll say humility or meekness, and that's because the original Greek word doesn't easily translate into English. The problem with translating it as humility or meekness is that sometimes in English we think that those words have something to do with weakness, but the word means anything but weak. Instead, it means having a controlled strength that is in tune with the Spirit. Someone who lacks gentleness is often prideful and easily angered or feels the need for revenge. When we are gentle, we don't view ourselves as being better than someone else. Rather than asserting superiority, someone who is gentle wants to help others, even when they aren't helped in return. Gentleness puts others first. It doesn't show hate or insult. Gentleness remembers that we are all sinners, and gentleness extends grace. A good example of gentleness can be seen in John chapter 8, when the Pharisees bring a woman to Jesus who the law of Moses commanded them to stone. Jesus says to them, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." And after everyone left, Jesus did not condemn the woman, but he said to her, "Go now and leave your life of sin." Just like Jesus was gentle with the woman in the story, God is gentle with us. Even though we mess up and make mistakes, God continues to love us. Now, when we look at self-control is often a matter of responding rather than reacting. When we react to a situation, we are more likely to become defensive and say hurtful things. Responding, however, involves developing a thoughtful response. Self-control is kind of the thing that helps us nurture all of the other characteristics of the fruit of the Spirit. It's involved with all of them. Think about it. Self-control is in showing love even when it's hard. Self-control is in seeking joy in difficult times. Self-control is in pursuing peace in the midst of hardship. Self-control is in choosing patience when you don't want to wait. Self-control is to be kind when it would be easier to fight back. Self-control is to be good when you want to go against God's goodness. Self-control is to stay faithful when you want to give up. Self-control is to be gentle when it would be easier to be harsh. Now remember, the most important part of it is that it's all about grace. Galatians 5:22-25 says, "The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's no law against such things. And those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live by the Spirit, let us also be guided by the Spirit." Paul wrote these words because he wanted people to know that they have been given the gift of grace. He wanted them to know that living a life of faith with God looks like nurturing the fruit of the Spirit so that it grows and that it does some good in the world by making God's love known. May you live in love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control as loved and forgiven children of God. Take care.